Okay, so we started by cleaning off the area in which we plan to lay our turf. We were working on a very hard surface here because we've got compressed fibre cement sheeting underneath, but so we need to make sure that that's going to be really clean so there's no sticks and little rocks and things like that, because that will come back up through the, that'll leave little lumps in your turf if you don't get that out of the way. So we cleaned it all down first, make sure it's all nice and clean. We measured our turf then to make sure that in this particular circumstance our turf isn't wide enough to run the length of the site. So we're going to cut it in 2 strips to go the width of the site. So we measured that, and then we cut our turf to size. And we trimmed off the black strips on either side of that so we can get a nice clean join in the middle and on the edges as well. So we just used a Stanley knife for that and a straight edge, as we did when we were measuring and cutting our turf. Stanley knife and a straight edge. The longer your straight edge is, obviously the easier it makes it to cut your turf. We were using a level, so we only had a 1 metre long level, so we had to measure and cut a couple of times. But if you can get a nice long straight bit of timber, then that will make that process much faster and much easier for you, and it's much easier to keep a square edge when you're using one single line. And so we trimmed our turf to size, then we spun it and rotated it, dragged it to the point where we want to make sure that it's all fitting and that it's all nice, neat fit and everything sits inside the lines that we've cut it for. And then we just ran a couple of strips of double-sided outdoor mounting tape, essentially underneath the outside edges of our turf, laid that down on the compressed fibre cement, peeled off the top layer of the turf, and then pushed our turf down, peeled off the top layer of the tape, and then pressed our turf back down over the top of that, stood on it, held it down nice and tight. Now, we're dealing with a fair bit of weight in this turf, so it has a fair capacity to hold itself in place once it's been fixed in the corners and along the edges. If you were doing this on another surface, so over ground or dirt or something like that, you can also peg your turf down with turf pegs that are provided at any turf supply store, and that's also a very good way of holding it down, stopping it from moving. And then we moved into the middle. Again, we cleaned that joint where we're going to join both those bits of turf together, and we put down a strip of single-sided 100mm wide turf joining tape. We stuck that to one side of the turf, and then we dragged our other side of turf up and lined it up and then placed it down, just trod on it and pressed it down hard. And then we just ran one bit of double-sided tape down the balustrade side of the turf just to stop it from twisting a bit on that edge. The other edge will serve to hold it in because it's up hard against the deck. And then that's it, pretty much. We brushed the join line a little bit just to lift that turf up and try and make that join line a little less obvious, but over time that should all knit together and that join line should become less and less obvious as the time goes on. And that's basically it, everybody. Then you can sit back like we did, have a cup of tea and enjoy your new artificial turf lawn. So that's it. We finished the turf out here on the compressed fibre cement deck, and I've got to say, it's pretty gratifying not having the glare just bouncing into our faces at the sun coming
I know. We can sit here, nice cup of tea, out onto turf that you never have to mow.
Oh, how good is that?
Pet friendly.
Pet friendly. It's very stable in UV now. The turf, artificial turf they have out now is very, very good at withstanding the harshness of the sun here.
Do you know what I loved about it when we chose this turf?
What's that?
Is we got to choose exactly the look we wanted.
Yeah.
We even got different varieties of turf to choose from.
There is a massive variety as well. So make sure you choose turf that's fit for purpose. So if you're going to be walking on it a lot, you want something nice and soft underfoot. If you're just using it to trim up around garden beds and things like that, which you can do as well, you can get a nice short tuft that is quite rough to the touch, but it looks very, very nice in around trimming things up. It highlights garden beds really well. So that,
it does.
Yeah, there's a
neat
massive
stuff
variety.
up, hey?
Neat stuff up a lot.
But either way, guys, check out the view.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well done, boss.
Thanks. Well, I was boss, was I?
Oh, for now. For now.
That remains to be seen.
Thanks for joining me. Did you know I wrote a book all about renovating to create wealth and freedom in your life? I've added the link below in the description for you. Enjoy.